Good morning, sir. Good noon to all of you. Before starting today's topic, I would ask you to please fill up this and return it back to me. Thank you very much. Whatever happens in your family, please try to give that. Whatever happens, three options are there. Some activities these are done by whom? Which member of your family? By male, part, female, or both the? If both, you can take on both. If male, female, whichever is right, do it. The checklist is related to the topic. So after you give the feedback, then only I will start. Many teachers who are submitting your feedback. Now all you have to give both are male or female, that depends on your what happens in your family. I am expecting that you have given whatever is right. Whatever happens in your family, you have given that only. I expect that.
Yes, don't do the equation common.
So today we will deal on this topic, understanding gender and their relationship. Where in this building, half transparent. I hope you can recognize this building. Okay. Half transparent. Okay. So in school, so how we can deal with gender in school? Now this is a very big topic. I have tried to sum it up for you because it was a big tough task for me how to compile it in a short time. It was so big that I suffered. Somehow I tried to jot down few points and made slides with them. So what are we should talk about here? We'll discuss on this. Schools and homes are the basic source of development of understanding gender relationship. I hope you all agree with this. School and home. These are the two places where we get this basic understanding about the relations of between gender. Second is gender issues. This is an issue which you will find in the whole society. Every aspect of the society, you will find this gender issue. Now the question is how to create a gender responsive school. This is our responsibility. Being teachers, being facilitators, this is our responsibility. Can we do this? If we are able to do this, we have done a huge work. If not, then there is a question mark. Now, I would like to ask you few questions. I hope I'll get answer from you. What is sex? Can you tell me the meaning? What is sex, or what do you mean by the word sex? Any one of you raise your hand, and if you can say it will be better, because it is not properly audible when all speaks together.
Male and female?
Yes, please, Ms. Neha.
It's a biological term that differentiates male and female.
Okay, thank you. It's Saroj has said it's a biological term that differentiates
People.
and female and male. Thank you, sir. Now my next question: what is gender? Is it same as sex? What is the difference coming? What is the difference coming? Yes, please, Amit sir.
When you define between a sex and a gender, sex is basically a trait which determines an individual's reproductive unit as such. A trait could be two, as per biology, if I am correct. Huh? And the gender is, now the definition of sex is clear, the two traits that come, since every trait has two alternatives. Gender basically decides that trait.
That decision comes from where? From where does that?
From society.
From society. Yes. Thank you very much. Yes. You are right in giving both the answers. So, sex means it is what is biologically assigned to an individual. It refers to the biological and physiological characteristics that define men and women. Totally biology, nothing else. When it comes to gender, now it is language. It is not biology. It is what a person identifies himself or herself as. It refers to the socially constructed roles, behaviors, activities, and attributes that a given society considers appropriate for men and women. Now, this role of gender changes from society to society. Different society deals it with different way. Suppose a ultra modern dress worn by a woman, a lady in Indian society may be looked in a different way. Whereas it is very common in developed countries, right? Is there any problem if somebody wears an ultra modern dress? Is there any problem? Of course not. But is it allowed? Even there are some institutions in our country where a defined role is given that this should be the dress. Yes, of course, dress code is important. Every job has its own dress code. That is different thing. Other than that, also, few people are there who puts a question mark. I remember in my area, from where I belong to, in our village, I remember one of my senior. Her name was Promise. Her name was Promise Das. So she was the first in my village to wear a jeans pant. And because she wore a jeans pant and she was the first one from our village who went to study outside our village, Presidency College, Kolkata. There were question marks raised by the society. Many female counterparts, they are counterparts of male, but many females they face the same question mark from the society. Those who are not housewives, those who are working. This biased attitude is there in our society. What we have to do? We have to remove that. Who will do? We teachers have to take up the responsibility. Otherwise, it is not possible. So, if we compare, then sex is permanent and universal, whereas gender, the construction varies from one society to another, as we just discussed. Male and female are sex categories, whereas masculine and feminine, these two are gender categories. So that's the difference if you compare them. Now, the awareness about gender sensitivity, that is awareness, that is also known as gender awareness. We also call it. So what is it? It is the act of being sensitive to the ways people think about gender. This is the important thing. It tries to ensure that people rely less on assumptions about traditions and outdated views of the roles of men and women. Time is changing. Everything changes with time. Many things should change, but few things are there which are not changing. Some are the defined roles about the gender. Our society has given that yes, this work should be done by female, this should be done by male. But is it right? The time has come, everything is changing, that can also change. But it is not changing. I watched a movie, I forgot the name, I tried to remember, but I was not able to remember. Very interesting movie. In that movie, Hindi movie, I found that the person, the hero, whoever you can say is not the protagonist, the protagonist is the lady, the wife. The male counterpart, what is his aim in life? Everybody is angry with that person because his aim in life is to become like his mother. That is, mother does the housework, so he wants to do the housework, look after the child, do all the housework, cooking, washing, everything, and his wife will go to office and do the outward. Thank you. I forgot the name. It was a very interesting movie because this movie is something which is breaking the norms of the society. It's a break from the society's norms, isn't it? So, when our language comes, we teachers, we use language. Language is the medium. Our language should be gender neutral. Now, what is that? Just a minute. Bring your homework. The teacher said to the student, bring your homework. This is this sentence. Now, I hope you can understand what I am asking you to do. You have to change the narration. What will be the indirect speech? Anybody can say? Please raise your hand. Yes.
The teacher told the student to bring her homework, or it could be his homework. Because the student gender is not, identified here.
Thank you, miss. Thank you very much. Yes, the answer should be the teacher said to the student to bring his her homework. Now, if you agree with me, even in some books you will not find this thing. Will you find this?
No.
In your class, when you write this one, being language teachers, if you are writing in this matter, then what you are using gender neutral. You are playing a gender neutral role. If you are removing anyone, then your attitude is biased. So we have to maintain this thing. In society also, there are many such terms. Let's see. Chairman. This is what it is to be used. But now it said we should not use chairman. We should use chairperson. Fireman. Firefighter. Ladies are also coming in this field now. So we cannot keep it as fireman. Wrong. Sportsmanship. Still used. Still used. Even in newspapers you will find when commentators when they comment there you will find they speak about sportsmanship. They don't say sportsperson. Even if ladies cricket if you watch, today is 9. Tomorrow India is having match with New Zealand. Morning 6 o'clock you can watch it. Okay, so there also if you watch it you will find commentators they will speak about sportsmanship. But they should speak this sportsperson. Mankind, not. It should be humankind. Salesman, sorry, salesperson. Air hostess, sorry, flight attendant. Otherwise, male are also there. So we should not say. This is the right term, flight attendant. Man-made, sorry, spelling mistake. It should be man-made. That means not government, right? Only man-made. So wrong. Artificial, that's the thing. Husband or wife. Now this has been used. Still in some forms you will find when you go to fill up some official forms you will find this one is written. This is not written. Manpower. It should be workforce. Still we use the word manpower. These are few terms which are still in use. Another thing, if you are English teacher then you will agree with me. When writing letter, what we use? This is also wrong. Even in some books you will find it. It's not that only you are not at fault. Even in books we find the same thing. What should it be? At least you should write. We don't know that. When I'm writing a letter to the editor, I don't know the editor is a male or female. If I write dear sir, if the editor is a lady, I feel bad. Might not like it. But if I write in this way, then she will not take it in negative. Many schools have lady principal. So there if I write dear sir, she will not take it right there. So I think this is some which we should change. This even you will not find in books. The books prescribed even by NCERT, there also you will not find this. There are mistakes. This changes we need to bring. Even in books also, if we start changing, the books will also start changing. Now curriculum what we find? It is important that our text reading material and books be free of the notions of gender inequality and bias as embedded in textbooks, lessons, teachers' interaction with students. So when we talk with students, there also we need to remove this bias. Even in textbooks, reading material, there also, but we find it. So that is what we need to change. So the government also has to come up for this. Educational system needs to be gender sensitive and gender friendly for girls as well as boys. There is a need for the development of the criteria of meeting gender sensitive guidelines. This is some guideline which should be provided by every institution. In every institution, be it a school, be it an office, everywhere, some guidelines should be there. Yes, nowadays in many offices, many schools, we find some guidelines, but are they really followed in a proper manner? Maybe not. So that enforcement is required. So it should be gender sensitive. The roles that the government and non-government organizations can play, they have a major role to play. Their role is main, they play a pivotal role. these organizations, many organizations, government are there who work for the betterment of education. So it is their responsibility to enforce this guidelines. All the policies and programs, interventions need to be gender sensitive. Whatever policies they incorporate, everything should be gender sensitive. All the teachers should be gender sensitized. Mind the term sensitized, not sanitized of course, but it is also kind of sanitizing. Okay, we also have to sanitize ourselves. Sanitize ourselves in the sense that when we speak our language should be gender sensitive, or we should be aware of the gender difference and speak in such a way which should not hurt the boys as well as girls. Then promotion of girls' education, especially in rural areas. This is very important. This role, of course, is played by organizations. Many programs are there. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. There are so many programs. Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, education for girls. There are so many, innumerable. They work for it, but there also they have to think about incorporating the guidelines and the language in the document. So, if I come to social action, then what we find, gender roles determine how males and females should think, speak, dress, and interact within the context of society. They define what is masculine and feminine. Now, this society, the thought of the society, they will define what should be masculine, what should be feminine. It is not that every time what they decide has to be correct or accurate. I think many of you watch fashion shows. In fashion shows, you will find the designers, they come up with newer designs, new upcoming designs, and there also you will find they try to make a change. There are some dresses which you'll find maybe will not wear those dresses on the road, but they are the models they are wearing. There are few designers who create dresses in such a way which are means you can say gender sensitive dress. How is that? Okay, let me give one example. Have you watched Jodha Akbar? Okay, there when the song goes on, a dress that what is the hero? I forgot his name. He was wearing and dancing. Have you watched that dress? Have you watched? Okay, not no problem. I cannot sing because I am not a very good singer. I cannot sing and tell you the song exactly. Okay, so if you watch, what is the difference? Then Ranbir Kapoor, that movie Padmavat. There also, if you watch the dresses, don't you find similar kind of dresses are there for female also? Of course there are. If I wear it and walk around the then what will everybody say? They will start making fun of me. Why? This should also not be there, isn't it? When if a girl, if a lady, if she wears a jeans pant or shirt belonging to her father, nobody will raise a question mark immediately. But if I wear a dress my mother, of course questions will be raised. Because society has given that yes, what dress you will wear, that role is defined. We have to come up from this. I'm not saying that yes, please, all the male teachers, please come and wear sarees. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying at all. But some dresses should be there, which should be, since we have also. We wear kurta pajama. There are some, what is called, some pants are there. Chudi pants, like that name is there. I don't know in English what to say about it. Okay, so those kind of pants, girls also wear, boys also wear. So dress also should be in such a way. There should not be a defined role about it. We have to pick the dresses which are free from this defined role. Parent teachers. Both I have kept within this hyphenated word, parent teachers. I have made it intentionally in order to make you understand that teachers and parents, both of them plays a major role. When in our last session, Sujal Bhumik has given a very nice presentation on preschool methodology. So there he had told about the teachers' role and parents. Parents are also teachers. Teachers are also parents. So both are, isn't it? Teachers are also parents. Parents are also teachers. Similarly, peers, films, televisions, religion, all teach us what should be the gender role in our society. Everything is taught by this. Now, if you go religion, consider religion, different religions, they teach differently. Of course, the way is same. The ways are different. The aim is same. Reaching Rome, isn't it? But these are the institutions who can play a major role in bringing the change also. If I teach my daughter in the way that it should be gender neutral, then she will grow up in that fashion. If not, she will not. I have jotted down few characteristics of gender according to what means role played in our society. Women are expected to take care of family, domestic duties, and remain close to home. I think you all agree.
No.
Okay, Miss doesn't agree. But the majority of the society accept this one. Okay, that women are expected that they will take care of the family, it is their responsibility, domestic duties is their responsibility, they have to remain close to home. All men are expected to work and earn money for the family.
No.
Boys never cry.
Boys cry.
Boys are better in mathematics than girls. Girls are very emotional. Women easily do more housework than men. Now, no, yes, majority is coming up and down.
Now it is both everything.
So, who does more housework, men or women? Okay, so we will not fight over it. We will not fight over it. Sorry, we will not fight over it. But this is what the characteristics or the roles that play in our society as it is assigned. Those who have broken this and come out, if some of you are there who have broken this and come out, hats off to them.
Yes.
Thank you very much that you have done it. Okay. Even in my family also I suffered from this problem. In my family also there is a problem related to my wife doing school teacher job. Yes, of course she is having problem, but she is maintaining everything. Hats off to her. I cannot handle my house alone. It's due to her only. Okay. Have you seen this anywhere?
Yes.
Men at work. Only men work here.
No.
Men work. This you will find mostly in NH highway. You will find. Have you noticed only men over there? No women. So many. Right? So this is wrong, isn't it? This mark played by this caution, whatever is given is wrong, should not be. What should be then? What should it be? See if you agree with this one. Can you agree with this one? I have not found a very nice picture. Is it okay?
Yes.
I think this should be there everywhere. Men and women at work. This is a good advertisement, isn't it? This should be. This is gender sensitive. Now, let's talk about housework. The toughest task. It's repetitive, tedious, boring. Ladies will agree.
Yes.
Entire responsibility of family on women. No economic value. Ashish sir, no economic value, right? House of GDP.
First, my repetitive videos, even teaching is
Okay, but you can change the way you teach, but you cannot change this verse.
That's what now, even in house, house,
You cannot change it.
you ask your husband to move there.
So contributes towards the overall wealth of the nation. Housework also contributes towards the overall wealth of the nation. May not be directly, but indirectly. The lady of the house, she does her work properly. She does all the looks after the housework. That is the reason why the male counterparts, they are able to work and earn, and whatever they earn, some amount goes for tax, if they pay, of course. Okay. Now that means in order to help the male counterparts work properly or focus more on their work, the ladies, they have a big role to play behind the scene, and that's why the housework, that should also be a part of our GDP.
The husband has to pay salary.
That is all. That should also be a part. Why not? Why not? Why is it not counted? It should also be counted. I think this is a good advertisement for this. Men can also do this thing. It's not that always ladies have to do it. Men can also do it. Ladies can also show their power, isn't it? There is a student of ours in class 6, I guess. Kiran Murmu. I have some of you already know her. She is tougher than many of the boys of our school. She is good in football than many of the boys of our school. She is good in cricket than many of the boys of our school. So she has broken the. There are many Kiran Murmus. She is not only one. There are many, and we need to appreciate them. We need to make such a situation where we can help them come up and prove their ability. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father Principal, because I have watched before pre-Corona period. I watched junior football match was going on, and there all the boys were playing, but Kiran Murmu was also there, part of the team. That is what we should appreciate. Yes, why not? Why not? Why do we keep them aloof? If they have the capability, let them prove themselves. Today, many of the girls, they are playing for, they are representing India in the World Cup. We should feel proud for them. So, stereotypes. This is something the thought of our society. These are generalizations or assumptions that people make about the characteristics of all the members of a group based on an image, which is often wrong. May not be always correct. These are some few stereotypes given associated with male. Men are adventurous, brave, strong, tough, aggressive, intelligent, rational, decides quickly, angry. This one suits with me last one very much. Women, they are patient, tolerant, forgiving, their chest, motherly, passive, obedient, beautiful, soft and loving, cries easily. Can't this be interchanged? Yes. Of course. There are many boys who cry easily. There are many boys. There are many ladies who get angry very quickly. Of course, there are. Isn't it? There are many persons who never get angry. One big example is our Father Principal. Yes. If he gets angry also, he never shows his anger. So that means Father is having this characteristic. Yes. Father is patient and tolerant. Yes. It is not making Father a woman. Why that Father is not becoming woman? Father is men. So this stereotype is not correct. These are wrong. These are just okay. A thought was there, but we cannot say these are accurate. No. Yes. If somebody can be motherly, somebody can be fatherly also. Now, this is another thing. Just introspect yourself. Think. You have been to many birthday parties. When you go to buy the gift, what do you tell to the shopkeeper? लड़का का जन्मदिन है, कुछ दिखाइए ना खिलौना। बंदूक वगैरह, चलो। लड़की का है, एक टेडी दे दीजिए, टेडी। हाँ वो खाना किचन का वो होता है ना, बच्चों का खेलने का, दे दीजिए ना, it is success. We do it, isn't it? We should not. We should not. I hope from today you will not do this. No, we should not. Doesn't matter. In BSF we find many ladies. In police also we find nowadays many ladies. That means government is giving them scope to prove themselves and they are proving. One of the dangerous, what to say, group of army group. They are from. I'm not talking about India. Uzbekistan. Yes, they are ladies. They are regarded as very strong and tough. They are very powerful. Even Afghani women. There are many Afghani women who tried to fight with against the Taliban. Taliban doesn't give any value to women. Taliban's thought is only one about women. They are a factory to produce more and more Taliban. That is the thought of Taliban. But there are many Afghani women who have fought against them and they have taken up guns. Okay, so we should not give. Next time when you go to birthday parties, think over it. This is the challenge that we still have in our society. Girls who dare to oppose experiences, criticism, ostracism, and violence. There are many such. Many will give some examples. There are many such examples where today they might have reached huge places, but once they suffered a loss. You might have watched the movie Dangal. There are also many made fun of those two girls. Even the father of those two girls, he was made fun of. But they showed. This also puts unwarranted pressure on boys who love to read, dislike fighting or dislike sports or mechanics. Many boys are there who don't like sports, don't like fighting. Then, लड़कियों जैसा व्यवहार क्यों कर रहे हो? What is there? Girls can fight? Of course they can fight. They are even dangerous in fighting. If you want to see it, then please visit Kolkata and just stand in any of the platforms. When the ladies compartment will pass, you will understand. They are great wrestlers. So gender equality benefits both boys and girls if we give them. Otherwise, they will not get benefit. This is said by Zorius Stenen. We have begun to raise daughters more like sons. Most will agree. But few have the courage to raise our sons more like our daughters. This is agreed. This is, isn't it? Who will say that I want my son to be my daughter? Many will say my daughter is my son. How many will say my son is my daughter? I think very few. Now we should not be, as a teacher, should abstain from using these terms. Act like a lady. Please don't use this. Say be yourself. Think like a man. Sorry, think. Women can also think. It's not a man can think. Don't cry like a girl. Simply say don't cry. Don't say don't cry like a girl. That means when you are saying telling a boy don't cry like a girl, you are disregarding that girls should not do. Please abstain from using these terms. I hope you will do that. So these are some institutions which are still patriarchal. Here we need to change. Gradually changes are coming. They will come. Family, religion, legal system, economic system, political system, media, knowledge system. Changes will come. Gradually it will come. If we talk about Hindu religion, then there when in marriage, Kanyadan has to be done by father. If father is not there, father is there. Some other male, somebody of the family, whoever. In my marriage, my wife's Kanyadan was done by her sister. And it is embedded in Rig Veda. In Rig Vedic rule, you can find it in both there. My wife's Kanyadan was done by her sister. Okay. So now to end up, thank you for boring you so long. Thank you very much. So this is one story that I want to share with you. It was midnight. Amanda felt like going for a walk. So she did. Thank you. I hope you understood the story. A day should come when that should happen. Today, however we say about our society, but we will not allow girls to go out at night because of course security reasons. A time should come when society should be safe and secure for them. There is a country named Germany. In Germany, when a newspaper, if you open a newspaper in India, you will find that in one or other corner, at least one story you will find about rape or molestation, something. In Germany, if such a article arises, they get surprised because it seldom happens. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Father, for giving the opportunity. Thank you.